Most flowers give you a few weeks of color before leaving your garden looking completely empty. But today we're looking at 10 hardworking perennials that bloom for months, return every year and thrive on neglect. In fact, our number one plant replaces its own dead blooms daily. Welcome to Garden's Heaven. Let's start at number 10 with a plant that transforms dry, forgotten pathways. Number 10 is Catmint. Imagine a narrow pathway with dry soil, exposed edges and empty spaces where other flowers never seem to look comfortable. Now picture that same pathway surrounded by a flowing river of lavender-blue flowers, rising above soft gray-green foliage and gently moving in the breeze. That is the effect Catmint can create. From late spring through much of the warm growing season, Catmint produces waves of small flowers that soften hard edges, fill gaps and make an ordinary border feel established and professionally designed. And the display is not only beautiful, bees, butterflies and other pollinators are strongly attracted to its flowers. On a warm day the plant can become one of the busiest areas in the entire garden. Catmint performs best in full sun and suits many cool to warm temperate climates. Once established, its deepening root system allows it to handle periods of dry weather far better than many delicate flowering plants. That makes it especially valuable beside paths, along driveways, and in borders where constant watering would be inconvenient. But there is one condition Catmint does not tolerate well: wet soil. Planted in heavy ground that remains constantly soaked, and the roots can begin to decline. Good drainage matters more than rich soil. And here is the simple technique that makes Catmint even more valuable. After the first major flush of flowers begins to fade, cut the plant back by roughly 1/3. At first it may look as though you have removed too much, but fresh foliage soon appears, followed by another wave of flowers that can extend the display deeper into the season. It is a small amount of effort for weeks of additional color. Catmint brings calm, soft beauty to the garden. But if you want something brighter, something that seems almost unwilling to stop flowering, the next perennial deserves your attention. Number 9 is Coreopsis, often called tick seed. When summer heat begins slowing down other flowers, Coreopsis often continues as though nothing has changed. Its daisy-like blooms can appear in brilliant yellow, rich gold, orange, red, pink, or striking combinations of several colors. Planted in groups, they create a bright, cheerful display that can make even a simple garden bed feel full of energy. Coreopsis performs best in full sun, where it produces its strongest growth and highest number of flowers. It also handles summer heat and temporary dry conditions well once established, making it useful in sunny borders, cottage gardens, gravel gardens and containers. But the soil must drain properly. Coreopsis does not enjoy sitting in constantly wet ground, especially during cooler periods. And here is where many gardeners accidentally reduce flowering. They feed it too much. Heavy applications of fertilizer may produce tall leafy growth, but fewer flowers. Coreopsis usually performs better with modest feeding and soil that is not excessively rich. To keep the color coming, remove faded flowers regularly. You can deadhead individual blooms or lightly shear the plant after a major flowering flush. This prevents the plant from putting all its energy into seed production and encourages it to produce fresh buds. In containers, make sure excess water can escape freely through the drainage holes. In garden borders, avoid planting it where rainwater collects. Give Coreopsis sunlight, drainage and restraint with fertilizer, and it can continue producing color during the very part of the season when many gardens begin looking tired. But Coreopsis still prefers reasonably good drainage. The next plant can succeed where the soil is dry, poor and difficult, and sometimes performs better because of it. Number 8 is yarrow. Imagine a dry, forgotten corner of the garden, where delicate flowers have repeatedly failed. The soil is poor, rain disappears quickly, and during the hottest part of the season, the area seems almost impossible to keep alive. Yarrow doesn't need rich soil to impress you. In fact, treating it too generously can create more problems than benefits. Plant it in an open, sunny position with good drainage, and it can transform that neglected corner into one of the busiest places in the garden. Its broad, flat flower clusters rise above soft, feathery foliage in shades of white, yellow, pink, red, orange, and apricot. Each cluster is made up of many tiny flowers, creating an easy landing place for bees, butterflies, hoverflies, and other beneficial insects. Once established, yarrow handles heat, drought, and poor soil remarkably well. But here is where many gardeners go wrong. They place it in rich soil, water it constantly, and feed it heavily, expecting larger flowers. Instead, the plant may produce weak, floppy stems that collapse under their own weight. Constantly wet soil can also shorten its life, especially during cooler weather. Yarrow performs best when you give it sunlight, drainage, and a little restraint. Remove fading flower heads to keep the plant looking fresh, but consider leaving a few later in the season. Their dried structure can continue adding interest after the brightest color has disappeared. Yarrow wants open sun and dry conditions. But not every garden has that luxury. If your empty spaces receive softer light, the next perennial gives you far more flexibility. Number 7 is hardy geranium, and one of the strongest long-flowering varieties is Geranium roseanne. This is not the frost-tender red geranium, commonly grown in window boxes and summer containers. Those plants are usually pelargoniums. Hardy geraniums are true perennial plants that can return after winter in suitable climates. Roseanne forms a spreading layer of green foliage covered with violet-blue flowers, each marked by darker veins and a pale center. It can grow in full sun or partial shade, making it especially valuable beneath roses, beside shrubs or between taller plants where bare soil would otherwise invite weeds. Instead of leaving those spaces empty, roseanne weaves between neighboring plants and creates months of softer color. It is adaptable, but it does not enjoy permanently waterlogged ground. Provide reasonable drainage, especially in climates with wet winters. If the foliage begins looking tired or untidy during the season, trim it back lightly. Fresh growth can quickly improve the plant's appearance and encourage renewed flowering. So far we've covered plants for pathways, poor soil and partially shaded spaces, but the next group contains the real heat survivors, including one flower that appears to become stronger as the weather becomes harsher. If these practical comparisons are helping you choose plants more confidently, subscribe to Gardens Heaven. We create simple gardening ideas for different spaces, climates, and budgets. Now let's enter the hottest part of the garden. Number 6 is blanket flower. When intense summer heat begins draining the color from the garden, many flowering plants slow down, wilt, or stop producing blooms altogether. Blanket flower often does the opposite. Its bold daisy-like flowers appear in fiery shades of red, orange, and yellow, sometimes blending all three colors into a single bloom. Planted in groups, they can make a dry, tired border look as though it has suddenly come back to life. Blanket flower doesn't merely tolerate difficult summer weather. In the right conditions, it seems to use that heat as fuel. Give it full sun, open air, and sharply drained soil, and it can continue flowering through long periods of warm, dry weather. Once established, it can also handle temporary drought far better than many softer garden flowers. Bees and butterflies regularly visit the blooms, adding movement to the display while supporting pollinators during the hottest part of the growing season. But there is one weakness you cannot ignore. Blanket flower struggles in heavy soil that remains constantly wet. Too much moisture around the roots can cause the plant to decline, especially during cooler or rainy periods. In regions with frequent rainfall, a raised bed, gravel garden, or container with large drainage holes may be a safer option than planting it directly into dense clay soil. Avoid overwatering, and do not bury the crown too deeply. Remove faded flowers if you want a cleaner appearance and continued blooming, although leaving a few later in the season can allow the plant to produce seed. Blanket flowers' colors are bold, fiery, and impossible to ignore. But the next perennial creates a completely different effect: lighter, softer, and constantly moving. Number 5 is Gaura, now often classified botanically as Oenithera lindemary. At first glance, Gaura may not appear dramatic. Its stems are thin, its flowers are small, and the plant does not form the heavy blocks of color created by many traditional perennials. But place it in a stiff or lifeless border, and the entire space begins to change. Dozens of delicate white or pink flowers rise above the foliage on slender stems. When the wind moves through them, the blooms appear to float, dip, and dance like a cloud of small butterflies. That movement is what makes Gaura so valuable. It softens hard pathways, breaks up rigid planting designs, and brings a natural, relaxed feeling to borders that might otherwise look too formal. Gaura performs best in hot, sunny conditions with excellent drainage. Once established, it can tolerate temporary dry periods, and usually needs less water than its delicate appearance suggests. But avoid treating it too generously. Rich soil and heavy feeding can produce excessive growth, causing the stems to become tall, weak, and untidy. Leaner soil often creates a stronger, more balanced plant. Heavy winter moisture can also be dangerous. In wet climates, plant Gaura in raised ground or a container where water can escape freely. It works especially well in naturalistic gardens beside ornamental grasses, salvias, lavender, and other drought-tolerant plants. Gaura brings movement into the garden, but the next plant brings visitors, bees, butterflies, and eventually even seed-eating birds. Number 4 is coneflower. A quiet flower bed can look attractive but still feel strangely lifeless. There may be color but no movement, no butterflies drifting between the flowers, no bees working from bloom to bloom, no birds arriving later to search for food. Coneflower can change that. Through summer, its strong upright stems carry large daisy-like flowers in shades of purple, pink, white, yellow, orange, and red. At the center of each bloom sits a raised cone that acts almost like a landing platform for visiting insects. On warm days, bees and butterflies move constantly between the flowers, turning an ordinary border into a living feeding station. Coneflower performs best in full sun and well-drained soil. During its first growing season, regular watering helps the roots become established. After that, many varieties can handle temporary dry conditions surprisingly well. But that does not mean the plant should be watered every day. Constantly wet soil can weaken the roots and shorten the plant's life. Allow the upper layer of soil to begin drying before watering again, and make sure excess moisture can escape. When choosing modern varieties, look beyond color alone. Some newer coneflowers have been bred for unusual shades and flower shapes, but not every variety has the same strength, longevity, or ability to return reliably. Choose healthy plants with sturdy stems, strong foliage, and varieties known to perform well in conditions similar to yours. And when the petals begin to fade, do not rush to cut every step down. The value of coneflower doesn't end when the petals disappear. Its dark seed heads continue serving the garden long after flowering is over. Small seed-eating birds may visit them, while the dried stems provide structure and interest later in the season. You can remove some faded flowers to encourage a tidier appearance, but leaving several seed heads standing gives wildlife another reason to return. Coneflowers bring life and movement, but if you want a plant capable of transforming an entire border, number 3 delivers much greater scale. Number 3 is Russian sage, now botanically known as Salvia yangi. Imagine a dry, empty strip beside a driveway, wall, or sun-baked pathway. The heat reflects from the hard surface, the soil dries quickly, and many flowering plants struggle to survive there. Now picture that same space filled with silvery foliage and a broad haze of blue-purple flowers stretching across the border. That is the transformation Russian sage can deliver. Its tall, airy flower stems create color without looking heavy. From a distance, a mature planting can resemble a soft blue cloud floating above the ground. Russian sage thrives in full sun, heat, and sharply drained soil. Once established, it can tolerate long dry periods and generally performs better with less water than with too much. But give it shade and the plant may stretch, lean, and lose the strong upright shape that makes it so impressive. You must also respect its mature size. Depending on the variety, Russian sage can spread widely and rise well above smaller neighboring plants. Give it enough space from the beginning or choose a compact variety for tighter gardens and containers. Pruning depends on your climate and the plant's growth cycle. In colder regions, many gardeners leave the stems standing through winter and cut them back when new growth begins. In milder climates, remove old growth before the fresh seasonal shoots become established. Russian sage gives you size and drama. The next perennial offers something different, a second flowering display many gardeners never realize they can unlock. Number 2 is perennial salvia. At the beginning of its flowering season, salvia sends up dense, upright spikes of purple, blue, pink, or white blooms. The display is structured, colorful, and full of movement as bees and butterflies travel from one flower spike to another. But eventually, those first flowers begin to fade. Many gardeners assume the performance is over. It isn't. With varieties such as Salvia nemorosa, one simple cut can help unlock another wave of color. Once most of the flowers on a spike have finished, follow the faded stem downward and cut it back just above a healthy pair of leaves. This prevents the plant from spending all its energy producing seed. With suitable moisture and growing conditions, fresh stems can emerge and produce another flowering display later in the season. Perennial salvia performs best in full sun and well-drained soil. It can tolerate temporary dryness once established, but constantly wet ground, especially during cold weather, can cause the plant to decline. And be careful when buying one. Not every salvia is a cold-hardy perennial. Some varieties are frost-tender and may behave like annuals in colder climates. Check the plant label and choose a variety suited to your local conditions. Salvia rewards a small amount of effort with another display, but number 1 can produce fresh flowers repeatedly, Even though every individual bloom has an incredibly short life, the most surprising plant on this list produces flowers that may last only one day. But that isn't a weakness. Behind each fading bloom, another bud is preparing to open. Number 1 is the repeat blooming daylily. Daylilies produce strong flower stems carrying several buds. Although one flower may open, perform beautifully and fade within a single day, the remaining buds continue opening in sequence. On a healthy repeat blooming variety, new flower stems may appear later, extending the display far beyond the plant's first flush. Modern daylilies are available in yellow, orange, red, pink, purple, cream, and multicolored combinations. Some have ruffled edges, contrasting centers, or flowers large enough to dominate an entire border. They perform best in temperate climates, usually flowering most heavily in full sun, although many tolerate light shade. They adapt to different soils, provided the roots are not trapped in permanently waterlogged ground. Once established, they can tolerate temporary dry periods, but some watering during prolonged heat will support stronger flowering. When an older clump becomes crowded and produces fewer blooms, divide it and replant the healthiest sections with more space. But remember this, not every daylily repeats its flowering display. When buying one, look specifically for varieties described as reblooming or repeat blooming. Do not confuse that with extended bloom. In daylily terminology, extended bloom normally means that an individual flower remains open longer, not that the plant produces a second round of flower stems. Choose the variety carefully, give it enough light, and the plant can continue replacing yesterday's flowers with tomorrow's color. The best plant on this list depends on the conditions already present in your garden. For hot, dry spaces with strong sunlight, begin with blanket flower, yarrow, Russian sage or gora. Once established, these plants can handle periods of heat and limited moisture far better than many delicate flowering varieties. In cooler temperate gardens, catmint, hardy geranium, perennial salvia, and repeat blooming daylilies are dependable places to begin. If your garden receives only part of the day's sunlight, hardy geranium offers the greatest flexibility from this list. Its spreading growth can fill the empty ground beneath roses, shrubs, and taller perennials with foliage and long-lasting color. For a garden filled with movement and wildlife, consider coneflower, salvia, yarrow, and catmint. Their flowers provide valuable feeding opportunities for bees and butterflies, while coneflower seed heads can continue attracting birds after the petals have faded. And if your soil is dry, lean, or difficult, yarrow may perform better when you stop trying to improve the ground too much. But remember this, none of these plants are completely maintenance-free. Every perennial needs the correct climate, suitable drainage, and consistent watering while its roots become established. Choosing the right plant for the wrong location will still lead to disappointment. But once properly placed, these 10 perennials can provide far more color for far less work than many short-lived garden flowers. Now I'd like to hear about your garden. Which perennial blooms longest where you live? And would you describe your climate as hot, cold, dry, or humid? Share your experience in the comments. Your answer may help another gardener living in similar conditions. And if you want your garden to look more polished without paying for an expensive redesign, watch the next video, 12 plants that make any garden look expensive.